and waiting on us. My name is Chris. I am your host for our noontime live stream programs for BugFest. That's right. We are right smack in the middle of a week-long celebration of all things bug. Now, if you've been a fan of the museum for a while, you might know that BugFest is normally our day-long celebration in the middle of September. We invite nearly 40,000 people to the museum to come and experience all these fantastic bug things that we have, crafts, games, activities, special guest speakers and experts, and all kinds of fun stuff. One of the highlights, though, the sort of kickoff to our BugFest event every year, when we're able to have it in the middle of downtown Raleigh, is the BugFest Critter Cook-Off. This is a chance for local chefs. They come to the museum and they compete to actually cook food with bugs. Now, last year's Critter Cook-Off was astounding. We had amazing food from both of our competitors. And so we couldn't do the Critter Cook-Off this year for obvious reasons. So we decided instead of a competition, that'd be kind of a difficult thing to do online. What could we do? Well, we could do a cooking demonstration. We could actually learn how some of our fantastic chefs prepare some of their amazing bug-filled dishes. Now, last year at the cook-off, one of our competitors was Chef Zweli Williams. Chef Zweli is the owner of Zweli's Kitchen in Durham, North Carolina. Zweli, you are with us now. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
I can hear you pretty good, yes.
Excellent. Well, thank you for having me this morning. And it's a pleasure to be sharing one of the recipes that I'm making today, and this is going to be pancakes. So today we will be making cricket pancakes. This is really fun. It's a fun recipe for the whole family to do. For kids would really enjoy working on these. Now, crickets. The ones that I have today, as you can tell, these are dry. It's more like a snack. These are like dry, edible crickets. And these are very nutritious. They are rich in protein. Obviously, they're protein, but they have all the 16 amino acids. You're looking at calcium, iron, potassium. You can get all those good nutrients out of crickets. So today what we're going to be doing, we're making pancakes whereby we're blending all-purpose flour with cricket flour. Now, cricket flour, we call it cricket flour, however, it's really a cricket powder. And it's a powder because it's not really necessarily a flour, it's not a grain, it's just mainly protein. So I'm gonna make a cricket powder here in my food processor. That's the first step that I'm going to take today. So this is going to yield me about 1/3 of a cup. So I'm just going to take these and just and you want to pulse the crickets until they form a powder. Now, they're naturally rich in dietary fiber, so you're not going to get a fine powder. However, I'm going to sieve them next after this seems to be good enough. And now we have like some kind of a grainy powder. So what I'm gonna do next is I want to sift this this powder so I can remove all the excess stuff that didn't go through the process as well.
So Chef Zweli, are we talking things like legs and antennae?
So we are talking everything. We are talking the head, the legs, the brain, we're talking everything. So now everything is all ground up, and I'm gonna sift it into my powder. And if you wanted to, you can use it as is, or you can grind it up some more, but I want to just get a finer looking powder. And this is more so similar to buckwheat flour, which is gluten-free. A lot of people, when they're using the cricket powder, that's what they tend to mix it with. They mix it with the buckwheat flour. So, okay. So we get in there. So see, what we're coming up with is a nice, very loose powdery substance right here. Just a little bit more to go.
You know, the crickets aren't so scary when they're ground up into a powder.
You don't even know they're crickets. However, I mean, they're very nutritious. And one fun fact about crickets is that they are considered crustaceans. So if you're allergic to shellfish, you cannot eat these. Okay, so I'm gonna mix this, the flour, I'm gonna mix with all-purpose flour. And next thing I'm gonna add all my dry ingredients for my pancakes. So I have about 2 tablespoons of sugar here. I have baking powder. And I'm gonna put a little bit of salt. All right, so the next thing I'm gonna do again is I want to sift this all together. The reason why I'm now doing this again with the cricket powder, is I just want to incorporate everything all together. So now when I'm sifting this, I still can see the brown, kind of the brown color. Okay. Take just a couple more, just another minute. Finish sifting this up. So also another thing about crickets is that you can order them raw, you can get them roasted. And the main place you can get them from is online. So you can purchase them roasted, or you can purchase them still kind of wet, like fresh. And you can be able to roast them yourself. These are roasted, so they're already very dry, but you can roast them and dry them and be able to use them as a snack. You can add salt, pepper, different seasonings and spices to them, and you can also use that as a snack.
So Chef Zweli, have you ever prepared insects before, or other types of bugs before the critter cook-off last year?
Yes, so last year was pretty interesting. Last year we have the crickets, right? We had the mealworms, and we also have beetles, which were very interesting to work with. But I'm from Zimbabwe, and we don't eat all these. However, we do have something called mopane worm. Mopane worm, you find it like on trees, like in the rainy season, and that's an edible kind of worm. It's like it's very similar to maybe like a super worm. So we dry them and roast them with salt and different seasonings on them.
You said it's called a mopane worm?
Mopane worm, Mopane. But those are really, really good. They're delicious. So I think, and most times I think preparing these types of edible insects, the process is pretty much the same. You know, you want to dry them and through roasting them or just drying them, you know, naturally curing them. And that's, you know, about, you know, how, you know, a lot of people eat them. So the next process that we're gonna do now that my flour has been sifted, all my dry ingredients are in here, I'll be adding my wet ingredients. So I have some eggs right here. I'm gonna add about 2 eggs. To my mix, and we're gonna add some vanilla extract. And the last thing we're gonna add is maybe about a tablespoon of butter and some milk. Whisk all this in together. Now, as you can see, the mix is kind of brownish looking. And it just a little more.
So while you're mixing, we had a question come in on YouTube.
Yes.
Marianne wants to know why you sift the mix first instead of just stirring it in straight.
So I sifted the mix first of the crickets because I wanted to get rid of all the, I still had some large grain particles, as you can see. Some of them are pretty large that I wanted to get rid of. Now, if you like the texture of the little grainy particles, you know, you can go ahead and use that in the mix. But I just wanted a little bit of a smoother texture to it. Okay. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, I guess sifting the cricket flour with the all-purpose flour to sort of
incorporates everything together.
Okay.
Okay, so now I'm going to my pan. Let's get our pan nice and hot. Add a little butter in here.
Everything's better with butter.
Yes, everything.
Including insects.
Absolutely.
So I'll remind everybody watching, if you have other questions, any thoughts at all on cooking with bugs, post them there in the chat box or the comments. We're keeping an eye on those, and you can be part of the conversation that's happening right here. And there is a good question that's come in here for you. Are the pancakes going to be crunchy?
Slightly, not too crunchy, and that's because I removed all the large particles that were still in here. So they're going to be a little slightly crunchy, but not too much. Now, if you want to be a little adventurous, you can even add whole crickets in here and maybe like blueberries or chocolate or something. I think you can be able to do the same thing. that.
So if you really want to be able to see your crickets in your cricket pancakes,
Yes.
you could sprinkle a few in there.
Mm-hmm.
And our critter cook-off, that happens to be one of the rules that we try to go by, which is we like to be able to see the bugs
Right.
to try to get over the squeamishness that folks seem to have about eating insects. I say folks, it's only like Americans. We're the only people in the world who really don't like to eat bugs.
Yes. I mean, I think bugs are, I mean, you have over 2,000 species of edible bugs. And, you know, they're very nutritious, extremely nutritious. So it's
And
I think it's a good idea to experiment, you know, in all like just a few different ones and see how they actually taste. And it's safer, you know, to start off, I guess, doing things like pancakes and stuff because you don't really see them. It's just part of the food. You don't see the actual bugs in it, even though there are bugs in it, but you know, it's something that's very nutritious for you. Okay, so my first pancake is done here. And it looks like an ordinary pancake. It looks like a pancake made with actually buckwheat, you know, flour. Maybe I can put another one.
so do you have anything on the menu at Zweli's Kitchen that you might incorporate bugs into in the future?
Not yet.
Like, well, probably not for all these people in Durham.
Yes, I don't know if anyone is, if I'm gonna have people that are willing to be a little bit on the adventurous side. But definitely maybe in the future, you know, we will add maybe the mopane worms. Being that we're a Zimbabwean restaurant, that's something we grew up eating. I grew up eating. So that'll be, you know, a nice touch to the menu. But I don't know if people will be willing to be adventurous with it.
If you put mopane worms on the menu, I'll be there.
I haven't tried them.
I'll come and try some. How big is a mopane worm?
So it is about maybe like, I don't know, maybe about 3 inches or slightly smaller than 3 inches.
Okay, so a lot bigger than the crickets we're cooking with here.
A lot bigger, yes. But they the way we prepare them is we we dry them completely, that you know, when you think of eating a worm or touching a worm, you're thinking of something that's extremely slimy, you know, that you know, ew, you know, you don't want to touch it, or you don't want to put it in your mouth. However, as when prepared as a food, actual food to eat, it's dry. It has a more so a meat texture, more so a beef is actually a little bit on the more drier than beef. So it's not the texture that you actually envision in your head.
Oh, very interesting.
Yes. It's actually really good.
Can you get mopane worms shipped to Durham?
That because you can get them dry, I think it's something that is a possibility. Like one of the things we pride ourselves with in the restaurant is that we try to source Zimbabwean products. Like we have a sausage that a butcher makes for us, but that's like completely Zimbabwean. our chili pepper, we grow it ourselves, but that's completely Zimbabwean. So if we're to get a mopane worm, we have to figure out exactly how we'll be able to source it. Okay.
Wow, really interesting.
So now I did about 2 pancakes and gonna sprinkle a little bit of strawberries.
Oh, love that.
And a little bit of syrup.
I should be hosting this from the restaurant with you right now.
Right. Then you can help us eat this.
Then I can help you eat this.
And voila. Cricket pancakes.
Do we have any leftover large crickets? Could we drizzle some
I wish I
big
had
bugs on top?
Yes, but
We turned them all into flour.
You know, you can, the large sprinkles, we can
Yeah.
kind of sprinkle someone here. This actually looks good.
It looks fabulous. So tell me, how does a cricket pancake taste different than a regular pancake?
So it's a little on the savory side.
Ooh, okay.
Because, you know, crickets are like a protein, it's like meat, you know. It's a little on the savory side, so you will taste the savoriness from the taste of it, yes.
Excellent. So there's a question here. What other types of dishes have you ever cooked with bugs?
Okay, so I forgot the name of the bug. It's very, very similar to a cricket, but the name is like it's something that we used to eat growing up. But no, we used to have bugs that come out when it's after the rain. It rains like little. They look like crickets, not really, but we used to. Oh, we call them izinhlwa. That's in Ndebele. That's in my native language.
Oh, can you say it one more time?
Izinhlwa. IZINHLA. No, sorry. IZINHWA. Something like that. Yes. So
I'm just going to see if I could look it up.
Yeah, so every time, and that's in Ndebele, or Zulu. Ndebele, Ndebele. That's the language. So every time it rained, and we used to have some people that would catch them, dry them, or roast them, like season them, roast them in the oven, and literally get a handful of them and just roll them with your hand, and all the legs, whatever, and the wings, they fall off, and what you have left is like a little piece of kind of meat. It's meaty and a little bit on fatty, but it's pretty, you know, nice and juicy. So I used to, you know, I ate a little bit of those too.
Excellent stuff. It's so interesting to hear stories like that, because you know, here in the U.S., if you even mention that there might be a bug on somebody's plate, or you know, I've gone for the museum, I've gone and talked to TV hosts and radio hosts and brought bugs for them to try, and everybody's so squeamish.
Yeah.
And
I'm not sure exactly why. I don't know. I mean, if you eat beef, if you
right?
if you eat chicken, you know, it's really this. I think it's, you know, it's a meat, it's a protein. So I'm not gonna say I eat all of them, you know, but
Right.
you know, I can say, you know, that what I've tried and from what I grew up eating, like the mopane ones,
Mhm.
such a delicacy, such a delicacy. And just have to open, up your mind a little, and you just try some of these things. You'll be surprised at how much you like them.
I think it's really great too for people to be able to see even a dish like a pancake
Right,
that looks and smells delicious, that's made with ingredients that you might not consider, that
right,
add nutrition, that add flavor, and just make it so much better.
mhm,
And
right,
here's gourmet food made with bugs.
right. And I was reading somewhere that the potassium, calcium, iron um, in crickets is actually higher. It's higher levels than in kale. So I would, consider it very, very nutritious.
There you go, everybody. Crickets are going to be the next superfood,
Right.
and and then we can start looking for more of the fabulous restaurants that we have here in the Triangle, like yours, to put more crickets and bugs on the menu, and we'll get everybody uh, over their squeamishness.
Yeah, we'll think about it.
Uh, okay, one last question for you, and then I'll let you get back to preparing all the stuff that's really on your menu for the restaurant. But this is a fun question. Is there a bug cookbook in your future?
Hmm. You know what? I haven't even thought about that, but that would be something really interesting. Um, because I can see, in the future, people experimenting more on bugs. And it will be a really, really good idea to have a very good, fresh start, on actually a recipe book that they can go to for reference.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Chef Zweli, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
This has been fantastic. Hosting you last year for the Critter Cook-Off was wonderful. Having you back again this year for BugFest is wonderful. And I hope we'll get to see and hear more from you in the restaurant in the future as
Absolutely.
well.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
And I want to say thank you to Leonardo, who I know is on the other side of the camera, and all of the other folks who are part of your team there at the restaurant for helping set this up and put this on. Uh, you've all been wonderful to work with, so much appreciated.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, everybody. My name's Chris. This has been the BugFest cooking demonstration with Zweli's Kitchen in Durham, North Carolina. Follow the museum on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We're at Natural Sciences. Check out bugfest.org to see more programs that are coming up today, tomorrow, and Saturday. Lots more great bug action for you to be a part of. And also there on the website, there are giveaways that you can enter. You can purchase and pre-order your BugFest t-shirt. You can join or renew your membership to the museum in order to get a free t-shirt. That's cool. And at naturalsciences.org, the museum's main website, you can get information about our soon to be open doors. Next Tuesday, September 22nd, the museum will open its doors to the public. We will welcome you back inside. We have new protocols in place. Make sure you visit the website because you will need a free timed reservation in order to get inside the museum this time, just to make sure we keep everyone safe. I hope that we'll see you again soon. And hey, if you see me walking around the museum, wave and say hi from a distance. I want to thank one more time Chef Zweli and Leonardo. Thanks so much. Everybody, have a great rest of your day. We'll see you again soon. Bye, everybody.